Hi guys, this is a Forgetful Scholar. Let's chat about books. So this week is Hooked. Let's see. I forgot. Hooked. um Hooked, Lucky Black Cat, and Alien Babies. Can you tell I prepare? Can you tell I'm stuff written down? I should. I really should. Probably won't. So the first book is going to be Hooked, Never After novel by Emily Mcintire. There we go. It's a really pretty cover. So this is a dark romance. I didn't actually realize that when I started reading it, but I was happily surprised. You guys know I don't really read a lot of dark romances. I think I read one other one on the channel. So I'm trying to dip my toe into it, a little bit, giving it a try, So this one is a retelling of the Peter Pan story, but Hook is the hero, or more like anti-hero in this, and this also is a gangster kind of story. I will say that it is the one thing I do like about dark romances, like when the hero or the heroine is a gangster or an assassin or something, you actually see them doing their job, whereas more mainstream romances, the guy could be a gangster but he never actually takes care of problems. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He never killed people. They do a little plainer. So the first paragraph, boom, Hook is killing a person. So this does have like trigger warnings for past child sexual abuse. It's not explicit. It's actually done very well where you know what happened, but it's not explicit and things like that. And breath play, I think it's called, or autoerotic asphyxiation. Let's just say Hook and Wendy's kinks are compatible. So yes, Wendy Darling, or in this, Wendy Matthews, is the main female, and Hook is a second in command of the Lost Boys, and it's run out of the Jolly Roger bar. All these tiny little homages to the Peter Pan story are really, really cute. They're really, really cute. I did give this 4 stars because I really liked it. I thought it was an easy read. Like, it didn't get too complicated. I like the plot points. I kind of knew the red herring was the red herring because my only skill is guessing plot points. That is my only skill in life, ruining stories for myself. So, but I think the red herring clues were really well done. And I think the clues laid out for who the bad guy really is at the end was really well done as well. I think I'm going to check out the next story in this, and it's like The Lion King, I believe. So I really did like it. I did. If dark romance isn't your thing, that's cool. I think the story was great. And when Wendy showed up and she's like, shy girl, I was like, oh man. Because, you kind of get tired of shy being their only personality trait. But I was happily surprised because the author gave Wendy a lot of depth. She was shy and sheltered and naive, but she had a temper and she was upset about things and she let herself be upset about things. And, she felt a little bit more well-rounded and organic than some other heroines that are shy. I felt like, so that was really a wonderful surprise. Hook, he's a bad guy. He's not a good guy in this. He is the hero of the story, but he's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. And the thing is, what he's gone through, you kind of understand. And I found myself really wanting him to get his revenge. And the whole thing with the crocodile and the clock I thought that was I really enjoyed that little tidbit, how they worked that into the story. So I did really enjoy this. I did. So, I mean, if you don't read dark romance, maybe give this a try if none of those things are trigger warnings for you. If you do like dark romance and haven't tried it, you should. It's a lot of fun, and I can't. How many times am I going to say that? It's a lot of fun. Once more, it's a lot of fun. Peter Pan is a dick in this, and this isn't the first time where Hook's kind of the anti-hero and Peter Pan's like the worst of them. I saw that in that show, Once Upon a Time. And honestly, picturing Hook in my mind, it was the actor that plays Captain Hook in Once Upon a Time. So I was like, ooh, very handsome. I did enjoy this. There is a very nice happy ending. I don't want to give too much away because there is a couple of twists and turns in this. You know, and again, I'm not really experienced with dark romances, so when Hook lost his temper and believed the worst, I really didn't know what he was gonna do to Wendy. So I'm happy that there was some restraint with that, you know? And it was interesting in Wendy's point of view, kind of going through a lot of guilt and a lot of like justification and why is she okay with this? Why is she not okay with this though? And all those kind of things. So I really, really, really felt that Wendy was a very good written female character, especially for a story like this. She had a lot more to her than was on the surface, and I'm happy we got to see that, and I think the writer did a wonderful job of bringing that out. There was no tell not show in this. It was very well written, and they did a really good job. This was interesting. I think I'm gonna check out the next one. Look at you getting me into dark romance. Oh no. Oh no. Let's go. So that, again, 4 stars. So let's see. Okay. So the next one is Hexbreaker, but a Hexworld novel, book 1 by Jordan L. Hawk. Now this is one of their earlier series, I believe. And this follows Cicero, a familiar that changes into a black cat, and Tom, who is a non-witch police. Because there's witch police and then there's not like human, like non-magical police. Now we know, we love Jordan L. Hawk in this channel. We do. But I have to say this one wasn't, there was nothing I hated about it and nothing I loved about this. So this is an MM historical and Hook was an FM contemporary. So this is MM historical and paranormal, and this is the world where Blind Tiger, is, but this is earlier on. Now, the way this world is, there are people who have witch potential, and there are familiars, and there are Hex Men. So Hex Men create hexes, sort of like talismans, but they don't really use them, or some can't use them, they just can make them. And then witches have the potential to use them, and they have, I believe, a bit of magic, but once they find their familiar and bond, their magic is intensified. And familiars they know who their witch is at, like, first sight. So that's basically the rundown of the world. Now, per usual, because familiars are different, there's a big segregation, and there's issues with that, especially, I believe this is taking place like early 1900s. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe so. In New York. So Cicero he's with the witch police. He's a familiar, a black cat. And like his personality cracked me up because it was very much what I thought a cat, turned into a human would act like. It was very cat-like. It was pretty funny. His friend Isaac is missing. Isaac used to be a familiar with the police, and Isaac's story is pretty tragic. His witch didn't want anything to do with him and nearly beat him to it. Like, oh, poor Isaac. Like, I really feel bad for Isaac in this, and he's missing. So he wants to investigate, but the chief of the police is like, there's no evidence that Isaac is missing or in trouble, so no. And Tommy has secrets of his own. And again, with Jordan L. Hawk stuff, I don't want to give too much away because their mysteries and their surprises are so good and worth the read. So Tommy has a bit of a past, but now he's a cop, and he's an honest cop. He doesn't take bribes. He takes care of his neighborhood. Everyone adores him. They call him Saint Tom. He recognizes this hex that is going around, basically makes people, I would say probably like rabies-esque feral, almost like zombies. Maybe more closer to zombies because he witnessed like his father eating his mother's face. Like it's a horrible stuff. And Tom is everyone thinks he has no witch potential, but he actually is a hex breaker. So he could touch a hex or the talismans and he could just break the spell. It doesn't take a lot of effort for him. He could do it, and they're extremely rare. Extremely rare. So he was able to stop the zombie hex on his dad, but his dad dropped dead. So Tom has a lot of guilt going on, and he's not really living life. You know, he's just kind of surviving that kind of headspace. But for like someone in his neighborhood, and he protects his neighborhood. He's a patrolman, and he protects his neighborhood. He sees the hex there, and he's like, "What happened? I thought I destroyed all this." So that kind of leads him to the witch police, because his police commissioner is like, "Well, you know, it's not our problem, but you know, if you want to go ahead and tell the witch police, fine, whatever." Uh, so he goes over, and Cicero is like, "Oh no, that's my witch. I'm out. I'm completely out." Because Cicero has issues. Past trauma, and he doesn't want to be bound to anybody. They end up working together, slow burn, falling for each other. And people from both their past show up to make, for the big climax, third act conflict. The ending of the mystery was very satisfying, and the ending for the romance is very satisfying. I will say there was nothing about this that jumped out in me that I loved, and there's nothing about this that jumped out at me and that I hated. So it was okay. Like, I give it a 3 stars. I enjoyed it. I kind of wish the next Hexworld book was about Isaac, because he had a really rough go of it, and I would love to see him get a happily ever after. I do think he has the 4th book in this series, so there's kind of 2 books in between of people I don't really care about. So I don't know if I'm going to read those or just jump the line and go straight to book 4. I'm not sure. I do enjoy this world that they've created. I find the magic system fascinating. I find the shifter or familiar fascinating. They always get me. They're such good writers, and they have such good plot lines, and effortlessly showing the world and showing the people's personalities without a heavy hand. So that's really great. Like I said, like it's a good middle ground book. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. You know, so there's that. I know, it's kind of surprised I didn't immediately give them 4 or 5 stars, right? I know. I don't know. Like, it was good, but it wasn't amazing. And it was good and it wasn't horrible. So, like, I think 3 stars is fair. And there wasn't really anything that I didn't like in it or anything like that. It was just, I don't know. It was like, oh yeah, it's okay. You know, there was no big drama, no big thing. I don't know. It was okay. It was okay. So 3 stars. I know, it's weird. It's weird giving Jordan L. Hawk 3 stars. I don't know. I feel it's weird, but that's what it is. Okay. And that was The Lucky Black Cat. And this one is Alien Babies. It's a FM. Now, at first, I thought this was future, but it turns out it's not future. It's contemporary, but it's aliens. Okay. So it's His Human Nanny, Monsters Love Curvy Girls, Book 1, by Michele Mills. There we go. Now, I will say, because of the title, I thought this would be kind of a silly book. It's 126 pages. I thought it would be a silly book, be done pretty quickly. I didn't really expect a lot. I thought I'd probably giggle through it and that would be it. I think I read one other alien romance, and that was from Johanna Lindsay, and the alien just looks like a Viking. So this alien, red skin, black horns, black eyes, a forked tongue, like a tail with spikes on it. Like, this is full blown Satan from, it made me think of like Satan from the movie Legends, I think, with like a young Tom Cruise. If I find a picture, I'll put the picture. If I didn't, I apologize. Just think of like what we think a red devil looks like, I guess. I did think it was silly. I was kind of surprised how much I liked it. Now, like I said, I thought it was future at first, but it turns out no, just a bunch of humans were kidnapped by aliens, and like, I guess we procreated a lot, so they just ended up dumping us on what they call New Earth in this solar system filled with other different species and different planets. I think it's called like Sector 4. And those humans on New Earth are obsessed with Old Earth, or the original planet as they call it, but they can't interfere because like an indigenous species act. So they just sort of siphon, like pirate our shows and videos and things like that, because Riley is a big fan. Riley is the female hero. She's the big fan of the show Friends. So like I thought that was kind of cute, and I thought that was a lot more world building than I kind of expected out of a novella. Especially like an alien monster novella. And this week really broke all my expectations for things, and I really enjoyed myself. So that's really good, right? So Riley she's an orphan and she hated New Earth. She wanted to get out of there. And I'm not going to even try to pronounce these alien races' names. Sorry, it's not happening. But there is aliens that have this sort of agency where if you sign up, you are like nannies, maids, caregivers for the elderly, things like that on different planets. And it's a year contract, and it's a great way to get off of New Earth, make some money, and, move on to another planet. Riley and her best friend Chloe really want to move to Omega 6. That's their goal. So Riley signs up. And again, as the cover and the subtitle shows, that she's a plus size girl. So she signs up to be like a nanny, and she turns out to be like a hospice care worker, like a home care for geriatrics, and she knocks it out of the park. Like, she does such a good job, and she didn't read the fine print. And lesson to everybody, read the fine print in a contract before you sign it. So this contract she signed with these aliens, if you get a good review and requested, then their contract is extended indefinitely. And she had no idea until after the first year. And she got like pennies on what she should have gotten. Like, most of the money went to the agency, so she's really furious. And the thing is, she realizes this, but every year she just can't do a bad job because like they're in her care and these are their last moments, and she just can't slack off for them just to get out of the contract because that's just not who she is. So finally, in the 5th year, she made really good friends with the daughter of the person she was caring for, and it's like, please leave me a bad review so I can get out of here. And she does it. So she's about to get out. But our hero, Edgar, probably not how it's pronounced because it's Aegir, but I'm just going to say Edgar. He needs a human nanny. And why human specifically? Because in Sector 4, it is the trend to have human nannies, because apparently all these aliens have the belief that humans are wonderful caregivers for the young and the old. Look, all right. Sure, let's go with that. So the agency offers her whatever she wants just to do this one more year. So she agrees. And that's when she meets Edgar. Now the thing, and like her going to the placement, I thought was a really fun way to show the world and the world building, the technology and everything like that. And I thought that was really done. It wasn't in your face. I thought it was done really well. The thing I didn't like is the moment she sees Edgar, she faints. And I'm just like, okay, I get that was a great way for her to end up in, because Edgar catches her so she doesn't hurt herself, and he gets mad when people are making fun of her about it. So it's a great way to show that, like, show what kind of personality Edgar is. That he's actually a really sweet person, like very introverted, very sweet person. But I did think it was kind of silly for her to scream and faint, because she's been around aliens her whole life. Like, her whole life. So I thought that was a little... And I'm like, it can't be that this race is the only race that kind of looks scary to you, I guess. So it was a little silly. I was like, all right. Yeah, so that was a little dumb. And then when she wakes up, it's not insta-lust, but a little bit. So she like faints because she's scared of the big red guy, but then she wakes up and she wants that big red dick. Like, it was a a little fast. But again, this is a novella, and I had to make allowances for pacing. You got to make allowances for pacing for novellas. You know what I mean? I'm sure if it was a full 300-page novel, it would have been a lot slower burn. We would have seen her kind of not be so frightened of him and things like that. And Edgar is a sweetheart. He has twins, a girl and a boy, and they're just a couple months old. And she just falls in love with those twins. Like, she thinks they're so adorable, and he's a good dad, so she falls in love with that. There is some, because he thinks she's hot from the beginning. He wants her from the beginning, but there is, because in their society there are bond rules. So since he had kids with these two, he had kids with their mother, he's bound to that woman, even though he doesn't want to, because he didn't create the kids consensually. Let's put it that way. So he's trying to work through the courts to unbond himself, and their race don't do infidelity. Like, it's just a thing. It's a dishonor to him. His family would be a dishonor to her. Like, absolutely not. And I didn't mind that because it is a different alien race, so it's going to be a little different. And I understood that the author needed to put a conflict in there because it's pretty much insta lust for both of them. So I understood that. I did think it went on a little long. I did think there was a couple points where it could have been a little quicker. Like the mother of the children showing up, I felt like it could have happened a little sooner, and things like that. I did find their internal monologues a little repetitive. You know, so like this one, it was a 3 stars, because I had a lot of fun. It was a quick, fun read. Even though it was short, we got Edgar's personality. We got Riley's personality done really well. So I enjoyed that, you know, and the world building was really well done. And I know they had to put a conflict in because if not, it would just been like a smut book, and that's fine. But obviously, this is supposed to be a romance, not, you know, so I got that. But the internal monologue, like, repetitive of it, like how she's like, oh, I'm not going to be a one-night stand. Why would he want me? And then him always, you know, I'm an introvert. So it kind of got a little repetitive at some points. But I will give it a 3 star. I'm kind of interested in reading more of this author stuff, so that's going to be fun. So it's definitely a 3 star. So yeah. I had fun. It was funny. Like, there's some points that I was kind of giggling a little bit. But, you know, it's like a monster romance. Why not? You know, you can't take it too seriously with stuff like this, right? So that's going to be it for me today. So I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. So, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you later. Bye.